Stitchy friends, I'm Christy. I'm the crosshatch quilter. I'm back to talk to you about my stitching today. Today is Friday, July 24th. Here in Utah, it's Pioneer Day, or Utah's birthday. I'm here to talk to you about my stitching, a little bit of crochet, and a couple of quilt projects that I'm working on. I've got some finishes, some whips, some haul, and some happy mail to share with you. So let's get started. I think the last time that I filmed was the week before Memorial Day, and I was on a deadline to hurry and try and get my Queen of Freedom done by Mirabilia. We went camping that week, and so I had a lot of stitching time in my trailer, and I took my Queen of Freedom and I finished her. I saved the very last bead and stitch to finish with Olivia from Pumpkin Hollow Quilts, and then on Memorial Day we did a FaceTime and did that together, which was so fun to do. It was quite an emotional finish, but here's mine. Here's my finish. It's Queen of Freedom by Mirabilia. All of her blinged out beads and Krynic. I just love, love, love her, and I had so much fun stitching it along with Olivia. Like I said, I took this up camping, and you know how those little bead packs, they just are so bouncy, and every time when somebody would walk in the trailer, it would, like, I was so worried that they were gonna bounce my beads all over, and I kept telling my family, don't knock over my beads. Well, it was me that ended up slamming it with my hand, and beads just went flying all over my trailer. So since then we've gone on a couple more camping trips, and I keep finding little beads everywhere. So it's fun though, because it reminds me of what a fun time I had stitching this. But I just love this. I stitched this on 28 count Pledge of Allegiance fabric, and it is from stitcheryexpress.com. And I've had a couple people ask me some questions about this, so I wanted to address those questions here. This is a specific size that they cut for the Queen of Freedom. They had instructions on their website how to order it correctly. A lot of people have asked me, how did I get it centered so that she's right, her head is right above the I Pledge Allegiance. How I started this is I actually folded the fabric in half and then half again, and I started right around here. So I actually stitched this part first, and then I went back up and stitched her head, and I really like how she is centered in that fabric just perfectly. So I really treasured this, and I'm so glad to have it done. Olivia has got hers framed and all finished and up on her wall, and I live in a teeny tiny town, very rural, and we don't have a frame shop here. Well, we have one, but they're astronomically expensive. So I do need to send this off. I will probably send this off to Total Framing. I have a idea of what I want to frame her in, so I need to save my pennies and send that off. But that one is my first finish since the last time we talked. And then my second finish is All Joys for Thine by Blackbird Designs, and this one was a start with my friend Carol Crago. She had posted that she was going to start it, and so I said, well, I want to start that with you too, and I didn't only have like 2 or 3 threads that were the called for, so I just like started right here in the middle, and then we both have finished it. It was so fun stitching that together, and we sent each other progress shots, and several people have finished this on Instagram, and it is just so pretty. I love seeing everyone's finishes. I believe that Carol stitched hers on Oaken, which is by Picture This Plus. This is, and hers is gorgeous. Like, I love every version of every fabric I've seen this stitched on. They're just not a bad match for it. I stitched mine on Heartland, which is the called for 36 count Picture This Plus with all the called for threads. So there's that finish. Sorry about that, I had to get a drink of water. Summertime allergies, springtime allergies, they get me every time. My next finish is Summer Jubilee by Blackbird Designs. and I stitched this on the called for linen. I believe it's 18th century Blackbird by R&R, and all the called for threads except for I did the blue in blue corn on the flag. This called for pomegranate, and I had a couple different skeins of pomegranate. Some were like super pink, but I did have one that was the red and I'm really happy with the way that turned out. Brenda from Brenda and the Cereal Starter, she just got hers back from the framer, and oh my goodness, it is fabulous and just the perfect frame for this. So I think I might copy her, because I mean, I always copy her, so that's not going to surprise anyone, right? But that is Summer Jubilee by Blackbird Designs. And then I have one more finish. This is also part of my Happy Mail. This is called Down in the Valley, and it is by Blackbird Designs. And I don't have it fully finished. I just have it wrapped around the little tart. But my friend Penny, who is Sheep Girl on Instagram, she sent me this darling tart, and she'd seen it on Brenda and Laura's Flosstube. There's an Etsy shop, and I will link it below because I don't remember their name. But she sent me this, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, I think that will be perfect for Down in the Valley. So right now I just have it on there with a rubber band, but it just barely fits. I think that the corner, I just barely made it work, but it's like it was made for this piece. So the next time you see me, I will have this fully finished, but it is absolutely darling. And thank you so much, Penny. That was so thoughtful of you to send that to me. She just wrote me the nicest note, and she's always so uplifting and encouraging. So I just love this, and I'll always remember Penny when I see this in my sewing room. Next up is my starts. I have a couple more pieces of Happy Mail or Stitchy Kindness that have come, but they are integrated into my new starts and plans, so I will show those as I get to them. So I'm going to show you my new starts next. I showed this last time and told you that I wanted to get started on this. It was on my immediate radar, and so I did start that. This is a project that I started and worked on during my camping trip up in Wyoming, and it will always remind me of that camping trip and my friends, and I love that I'll have this as a token. I'd say about 3/4 of the way through. I was hoping for a finish while I was up there, but it just didn't happen. But I love this. It is on the called for linen, which is .28 count apple brown bindi by R&R Reproductions with all the called for threads. And this is called Their Song by Blackbird Designs. I super love this project and hoping to get it done the next time I record. So there's that one. Okay, so some of my new starts are integrated with my purchases because I just couldn't stand it. I had to start them the second they arrived in my mailbox and they hit my mailbox. The first one is from Two Tarts and Their Charts, or otherwise known as The Attic. They had shown this on one of their most recent Flosstube videos. I think it's 3 back, and they had shown that they had this back in stock. And I've always wanted to stitch this. It's been on my wish list for a very long time. So I pushed pause on the video and immediately emailed them and asked them to kit it up for me with their awesome Attic silk conversion, and they did that very thing for me. So I had a piece of vintage pecan butter by Lakeside Linens, and that is what I'm stitching it on, with the called for silks that they, or not the called for silks, but the kitted silks that they did a conversion for at the Attic, and they are so happy and cheerful, just a beautiful rainbow. So there's my little start. I'm hoping to get back to that soon, but I literally started it the day that I got it in my mailbox. I couldn't stand it. So that was so fun, and I was super excited. I believe they still have charts. I don't know though. I haven't checked on that recently. So if you're after that chart, contact the attic and they will hook you up. Contact the Tarts. I love that name that they got called by some cute viewers, and I have since then started calling my friends Tarts. Brenda, the cereal starter, or Brenda and the cereal starter, I call them the Temptress Tarts, but Brenda is Mama Tart, and Carol, the saltbox stitcher, I call her the Queen Temptress Tart because she's the queen, right? She's cost us all a lot of money, right? Enabled a lot of purchases. It's all in adoration and in good fun. My next new start, so after I finished All Joys for Thine by Blackbird Designs, I had been stitching that with Carol Crago, and I wanted to continue doing a stitch along with her. So we started Oh Joyous Day by Blackbird Designs, and I said in my last video that I had no immediate plans of starting this. I just had bought it because I wanted it, but after seeing Carol, the Saltbox Stitchers, finish, and then Brenda and the Cereal Starter, Brenda was stitching it, I'm like, oh, it's gorgeous, and I just love the colors. Those ladies, Alma and Barb, are just geniuses. So Carol and I just chose this to start with one another, and I don't have a very big start. I think Carol is a lot further along than me, but nonetheless, here is my little start, and I'm stitching this on 36 count legacy linen with all the called for threads, and it is going to be so much fun. I really like the changes that Carol and Brenda have recently done. They put a bird right here, and they didn't put a name over one here, and I think that's what I'm going to do as well. I just love that idea, so I'm hoping to get back to that soon. But my next start is Land That I Love by Theresa Kogut. This is another one that as soon as I saw the video that Theresa came out with and showed the stitched framed piece, I immediately pushed pause on the video. I texted Olivia and I said, oh my gosh, you need to see this. Have you seen this? And I immediately went hunting to pre-order the chart and to find the linen and threads so that I could get it all ordered. We started this as a group. It's Carol Crago, my friend Yvette, Brenda, and Olivia. We started this on a Zoom call, and I'm stitching it on the called for linen, which is 36 count tin roof. Here are the yummy threads, and my sweet friend Yvette sent me thread bling for it, and there's some fancy floss in there and some DMC, and it is just a beautiful combination. I love those prim colors right there. So I started in the top left corner, and then I started doing the border, but I really wanted to get down to the house, and so I worked my way on the border down so that I could start the house. I just love that mustard house. Everything about this chart is absolutely spectacular. I just can't wait to have it finished and on my wall. So I'm going to stick with this piece, I think, year round. I'm not gonna like set it down, hopefully, so that I can have it framed and on my wall by next summer, because I just really, this is one of my favorite charts that I've ever seen. I have one last start and purchase, and that is Manor at Quaker Hill by Brenda Gervais of With Thy Needle and Thread, and a group of us started this together. I'm stitching mine on 36 count legacy. It was a celebration for one of our friends, so we all started stitching it on the same day. Since then, Reese with Stitching with Reese on Flosstube has finished hers, and it is absolutely gorgeous. I'm stitching mine on 36 count Legacy with all the called for threads, and this is just so pretty. I can't wait to get this one finished up on my wall as well, because I just adore this pattern. So that's all my new starts. Now we're on to whips. Okay, my first whip is Anniversaries of the Heart by Blackbird Designs. This is a stitch along that Olivia at Pumpkin Hollow Quilts and Deborah with Canopy Stitches is hosting. And I started it with them in January, on January 1st. And this is as far as I've gotten, which I'm super far behind. With COVID and summer and camping, I just don't wake up and do morning stitching. If I wake up early, I'm usually on a walk. But this is how far I've gotten. I'm stitching this on 36 count Old Town Blend. I'm working on this block, which is the farmhouse block. And I've just been doing the fill-in in the house and working on the Blackbirds. So I really need to play some serious catch up on this one. I love it. I'm definitely not abandoning it. I just need to get back to it. There's just too many squirrels out there. But I'm going to focus on that some more. Give it some extra love, because it is such a sentimental piece. It deserves the attention. And then my next whip, I love this one, is my stitch along that Olivia from Pumpkin Hollow Quilts and I are hosting. It started out as a stitch along between the two of us to take the place of Queen of Freedom, because we'd finished that and we were super sad about it. But that is Autumn on Lazy Bear Mountain by Kathy Barrick, or otherwise known as The Beast. When she was stitching it, she referred to it as that because it's so big. And here is my progress. I love it. I changed mine from my original start of L on Picture This Plus Linen to the Wren, and I'm sticking with the Wren. I really like it. I think the oranges and everything just pop, and look, the linen really complements the contrast of the colors. So I made a boo-boo on this one. So all of this is correct down here, the tree and the owl and everything as far as the border is concerned. But then my house is one up, and therefore it made this one up. So I only have one stitch between 1798 and the border, but I'm not fixing it. I'm just gonna base everything else off of the tree. There's like a little border down here, and I will just make it one line extra long, or whatever, I'll just make it work. But I'm using the over-dyed thread conversion from Jen with Quirks and Stitches that she so kindly shared, and I just love it. So I'm really excited about this stitch along. This is one that I always take with me when I go camping, because it's autumn on Lazy Bear Mountain, and so I just think it's so fun to be stitching on this up in the mountains. And I look forward to the leaves changing up there. We have a lot of quaking aspen trees that turn yellow, and so I'm just really excited to work on this quite a bit this coming fall. It's definitely in my stitching rotation, and it is a focus piece. Oh, and here is my threads. The thread bling is from Socks for Mom, and it's the little orange house, and here's all the colors. They're all Gentle Arts. The only change that I did from Jen's with Quirks and Stitches conversion is my black crow was really blue, so I'm using Witching Hour, which is kind of like a fabulous purpley black, for all the black that's called for, including the angels dresses. I think they're angels on the chart. So there is that. And if you'd like to stitch with us, the hashtag is it's Lazy Beast. It's Autumn Lazy Beast Sal on Instagram. If that's different, I will put the hashtag below. It is such a hard hashtag to remember. I don't know what the deal is with that. Okay, so my next whip, and I have set it down for quite a while because I was mad at it, and I've shown it to you before. It is my Consider the Lilies by Heartstring Samplery, and I really wanted this to be a huge focus piece for this year because of the sentiment and the Bible verse, consider the lilies of the field, they never toil nor spin, and that is in Matthew 6:28. That they, you know, just to not worry and to, you know, like my dog, he's always so happy. He doesn't know what's going on. He just takes every moment for what it's at. And so I really love this. And here's my progress. Like I said, I had been mad at it because last time we had spoke, I was frustrated with the overdyes and how they were looking on my linen. I think I have stitched this flower 3 times and unpicked it. And finally, I just gave in. I've even used the DMC for it. The overdye just don't have a lot of contrast. There's like 2 different greens right there. But I've forgiven it now. I'm over it, and I'm just going on with it. I still love it. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I'm stitching mine on 36 count vintage buttercream by Lakeside Linens, and I've got the border all the way done around. Well, I don't have the flowers done, but it's met up. And then here's the house. I'm working on filling that in. I just recently did this urn and the peacock and this flower this week. So I'm back at it again, and I just love it so much. I started this with my dear friend Celeste, and she is Celeste Creates on Instagram, and she just started her new Flosstube this week. I think it was yesterday, and she did a fabulous job. So go and check her out. It is Celeste Creates here on Flosstube, and she has some wonderful samplers that she's working on, and she did a great first video. So go and give her some love over there. And then that is all my whips. I really need to get back to the Berry Bowl sampler. I haven't made any more progress on it since the last time we spoke, I don't think. I took it with me to Wyoming to go camping, and I couldn't see it very well in the camp trailer. So I worked on the 28 count piece instead. But here's my progress so far. But this is going to get some love and be a focus piece as well. It's going to be in my rotation every week because I need to get it done, and I love it. It's such a gorgeous piece. And I'm doing that with Adele from Smurfette Stitches, and she's under that name on Flosstube and Instagram. And she also does a fantastic job on her videos, so go and check her out. My next segment will be purchases, and my first purchase has a story behind it. It's a whip that I'm abandoning. So while we were camping, my friend Lori, she started Autumn at Hawk Run Hollow, and I have struggled with this piece. I started it 2 summers ago, and I started it last summer. I'm sorry, I started it last summer, and I'm stitching it on 40 count vintage sand dune by Lakeside Linens. I have struggled with it ever since I started it. Here's the piece, and my struggle is that it's 40 count and it's basically solid stitching in there, and so it just seems like the threads were just so packed in there. I'm stitching it with the DMC, and I've texted Olivia a few times and told her I don't know what to do because I feel like abandoning this, but I love it. It's one of my very favorite charts, and so I was torn, but I just hate working on it. So, and I don't have anything against 40 count. I have lots of projects that I've worked on with 40 count, but this one, because it's just such dense stitching, I was just having a heck of a time. And so here is what I've gotten done on the 40 count vintage sand dune. So not a lot. I don't feel bad abandoning it, but I had made that decision, a month or 2 ago when Olivia and I were talking about it. So when I was up camping with Lori, she started it, and oh, I immediately knew right then that I was going to copy her. And so my first purchase and I just got it in the mail today. I was so excited that it came today. She had gotten her kit from Shepherd's Bush, so I called Terry at Shepherd's Bush and I asked her if she would kit it up for me in the exact same as everything that Lori was stitching hers with. And so this is a piece of 36 count straw by Weeks Dye Works. So there's that. And they have a fabulous over dyed thread conversion there. And here is all of that yumminess. Oh, it just looks so perfect on this straw. But I think that, I'm just so excited because I think with the solid stitching, everything is DMC. The overdyes are gonna look so awesome. Lori's, she had started the pumpkins and she had the corn done and the birds before our camping trip had come to an end, and it looks fabulous. The bluebirds are in an overdyed thread and everything is just fabulous. But because it's the solid stitching, I feel like I'll be a lot more successful on the 36 count and I won't have to struggle with it as much. 36 count is my favorite anyway, but it's just so much more doable on the 36 count for the solid stitching. So that's my abandoning and new start. Well, I'm going to start it this weekend, up camping. So look for that as my new start next time. And then on the subject of Hawkrun Hollows, I thought I would show you, since I was going to show you Autumn at Hawkrun Hollow. One of the things that made it so easy of a choice to abandon the 40 count was I am stitching Halloween at Hawkrun Hollow, and I'm stitching it on 36 count legacy linen. And here's what that looks like. And I love it. It's solid stitching for the most part, but the 36 count just lends itself so well to the solid stitching. Not all the threads are just packed in there. And I just feel like my stitches lay better and look nicer. So I'm just super happy that I've made that decision to change Autumn at Hawkrun Hollow. So here is my progress on Halloween at Hawkrun Hollow. And like I said, it's 36 count legacy linen from Picture This Plus. So I've got the middle block completely done, other than there's a couple for the bat's eyes. They're supposed to be French knots. I think I'm going to do beads, but at the very end. So there's that. I just love this project and I want to get back to it. I really enjoy stitching this as a seasonal piece. It's not like well, I say that, but when I get anniversaries of the heart done, I might make this a morning stitch year round. But here is my cute little floss ring from my friend Yvette. It's part of my Happy Mail. And here is all of the called for DMC. And they're so fun. This is a fun one to work on. I really enjoy that. Okay, I've got quite a few purchases here. You have to remember that it's been several months since my last video, so it looks like a ton, but I acquired it little by little. I have signed up for the Stitch Along, the Prim Stitch series through, it's by Lori Holt of Be in My Bonnet, and it's through Fat Quarter Shop and So Emma. And this is the first month, and Lori has out these needle minders. They are my very, very favorite needle minder I've ever owned. It has got a lot of, like the magnet is very strong, and I just like the surface of it. It'll hold your scissors and your needle. So I think she's gonna be coming out with a couple other designs for these, and I'm excited because this is definitely hands down my favorite needle minder I've ever owned. And then Fat Quarter Shop and Lori have this bag that is her new Prim and Proper line. And so I'm gonna put my project in here. I haven't started it yet. I am waiting for the threads to arrive, and I'm anxious to get that started and do the Stitch Along with Fat Quarter Shop. So that is a purchase. And then I purchased this from a friend named Barb. She is on Instagram. I'll link her Instagram below. I believe it's Barb I refer to her as Indiana Barb because she lives in Indiana. So, but I had seen this on Carol the Saltbox Stitcher's video, and it's Hannah Tingy 1823, and I love it. So Barb had two. She had acquired one from a friend's estate sale, and I bought it from her. And it's kitted by the attic with all the yummy silks and some vintage sand dune, I believe, vintage buttercream. We are going to start this Thanksgiving weekend as a stitch along. So if anyone wants to join us, please do. It has a autumn color palette, but a Christmas type fill. So I just felt like that was the perfect time of year to start it. And then my next purchase, this was a club called I Don't Want to Belong to Another Club by Theresa, Kitten Stitcher. And this is by Lottie Daw and Kindred Spirits of the Thread. And I am super excited about this. I love drums, and it's very small, and I, need a small project in my life because obviously all I do is stitch big projects. So I'm excited to get this one whipped up. And then this is Adele at Smurfette Stitches Vault. She has been stitching Paradise Lost by Plumstree Samplers. I've always loved this, but I have never just pulled the trigger, and so I finally decided to get it. I love all the cute little motifs in the trees, and the giraffe, and the tiger, or lion, I mean. Everything about this, I just love it. The peacock. So, don't know when I'm going to start that, but I had to have it. And then my last purchase, and it's part of my Happy Mail, is I purchased Come Into My Garden by Blackbird Designs. And my sweet friend Laura from Brenda and the Cereal Starter, she had sent me the linen to go with it. And she sent it with a cute little sticker note that has, what is his name? You guys are all yelling it at me right now. Mr. Rogers. But it says at the very top, "You're special, check. I like you just the way you are, check. Would you be mine, check. And could you be mine, check." But how can that not make your day when you get that in the mail? But it's a piece of the velt, the 36 count velt that is for the called for. So I really appreciate that, and I'm super excited to get this one started too. I love anything Blackbird Designs. Their color palette and their designs they're just geniuses. So thank you, Laura, so much. Okay, I think that's, well, just like my cross stitching, I always have several quilting projects going on at the same time because that's just the nature of us makers, right? My first one that I'm super excited about, and I've been currently working on, I've been cutting out my blocks and getting prepared, is Quilter's Cottage by Lori Holt of Be In My Bonnet. And it is a sew along that is hosted by Fat Quarter Shop. It starts on August 7th, and the hashtag is Quilter's Cottage Sew Along on Instagram and Facebook. And if you would like to join, please do. It is going to be so much fun. I'm super excited and looking forward to this one. I'm going to make this and put it in my camp trailer on my bed. So I think that is good. It's wide enough and long enough to fit. I'm just super excited about it, and I love the colors. And then my next project, I have been watching Shanda, who is stitching in Idaho, and she has that gorgeous wall of quilts in her videos, and she has just the gorgeous style and taste in decor and furniture and projects. But I had messaged her because I'd fallen in love with a quilt that was on her video, and my friend Tina and I, Tina is from For the Love of Stitches, we had been talking that we wanted to make a Joe Morton quilt. She texted me one day and she said, "Oh, look what I just got," and it was Lancaster Jelly Roll, or no, Lancaster layer cake. And I laughed because I had just gotten it delivered to my front door that day. She's my other twin in life. And I was just like, but we both love Jo Morton, and just such a yummy color palette. It's kind of has a fall vibe, but these are really the colors that are throughout my home. So we had been brainstorming, oh, we should make something together. And then I said, oh, have you seen Shanda's new video? And I just love all of her quilts. And so we started talking about that. And we decided that this line would lend itself well to a 4-patch quilt that Shanda has up on her wall. It's like the 3rd or 4th in on her most current video. So I'm making a 4-patch quilt, and then after each 4-patch is this fabric, and I'm stitching that with Tina for the Love of Stitches together. I've sewn all my jelly roll strips together, and then we're making 4 patches. And Tina, though, she has already started hers and gotten it almost done, and it looks awesome. So go check hers out. And then my last quilting project that I've got going on is some of my happy mail as well. I got the most amazing package in the mail. It was a great big box, and my friend Yvette had noticed that in my videos in the past that I had said that I have 2 stitching or quilting styles that I really like. Lori Holt, the bright colors, they match my kitchen with the kitchenette colors of like mint green, pink, red, and they match my Pyrex. And then I really like silverware fabrics, and so she sent me the most awesome package of awesomeness ever. Okay, sorry about all the pauses in my video today. I swear I apologize for coughing or having allergies every video, but this video is not anything different. Spring and summer allergies just kill me, but we have a couple local fires here, and they're just making my eyes water, and I'm just coughing all the time. That's how my allergies manifest themselves. But I wanted to show you what I've decided to make with the fabrics that Yvette sent me, the silverware fabrics. I had been watching Carol the Saltbox Stitcher in her most recent video. Behind her, she has a quilt that is all stars out of silverware fabrics, and I had been just lusting after that. And so I messaged a few of my friends, and we decided to I'll make that quilt out of silverware fabrics. And so there's a group of us that are making sawtooth stars, and here's my first one. I just have one lily one right now, but the pattern that I'm following is out of Farm Girl Vintage by Lori Holt of Be In My Bonnet, and it's this star. It finishes at either 6 inches or 12 inches. I'm doing the 6-inch version. So I don't know how big I'm making my quilt yet. Carol's is a pretty small quilt that's behind her, but I have enough fabrics to I don't know yet. I'm just gonna make them and see how it goes. So it's such a fun project, and I'm so excited and also very thankful. I don't have a local quilt shop that has silverware fabrics, and so I'm just elated because they're my favorite. Well, my last project that I've been working on since we last met is a crochet project, and I started this project up camping with my friend Lori. She has a fabulous chunky thread line out. It's 100% cotton, and so I ordered a whole bunch since I've gotten home from camping so that I can make something with all the rainbow. But I had made a crocheted Afghan in the past, but it's been quite a few years, and I really, if you don't use the knowledge, then you lose the knowledge, right? So I'm keeping my project in my bag that I made a few years ago. It's out of Vintage Happy by Lori of Be In My Bonnet, and she sat down with me and helped me, taught me how to, very patiently, may I add, taught me how to make these flowers. And so there's 4 colors, and I'm using the medium hook. but if you use 4 colors, then you could make 16 different colorways. And so my plan is I'm going to make a garland for across my quilt here. And so here's my progress so far. I'm addicted to these. I still haven't, you know, woven my ends in yet, but it's a super fun thing to do when you're watching TV or you're riding in a truck where you can't cross stitch. But I just love these so much. I had so much fun learning how to do these, so I hope that next time I come on I'll have a new design that I'm working on to show you. But I really appreciated Lori and Annette making these with me. We had so much fun when we were out camping, just laughing, giggling, just friends that are easy to be around. There's no, it was just easy. And we had a couple of friends that we couldn't have there because everything that's going on, and we missed them. But it was such a fun time, and those girls are like older sisters to me. They teach me things, and we just laugh and giggle and had yummy food. I hadn't had Dutch oven potatoes since I was a kid. My mom used to make them every summer, and Lori and her husband made them, and it was like tasting my childhood all over again. My husband really likes them now, so we're going camping this weekend, and he's requested that I make those while we're up there, so that will be helpful. Well, I think that's all that we have for you today. Gus wanted to say hi to everybody. He just woke up from a nap, so he's super tired. I feel like this video is a hot mess. I'm super out of practice, combined with my coughing and allergies. So I'm sorry for the choppiness and having to splice all the videos back together, but well, I just wanted to pop on here and give you an update. I hope to be back sooner than later instead of spending so much time away. I really, are you comfy now? I really enjoy everyone else's Flosstube videos, and it has definitely been a comfort in this time of staying at home. And so I promise and hope to make more videos more often. And I just really appreciate everyone's friendship. This community has been such a highlight of 2020. 2020 has definitely sucked, but 2020 has also brought me some very dear friendships, and I am so thankful to all of you for being my friend. Happy stitching, and until next time, bye!